Good evening. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. Here we are streaming on First Alert Weather Plus, and boy, is the weather a lot calmer than when we were chatting late last week. Still, though, cold front to track, an 80-degree afternoon mixed in, multiple afternoons in the 70s, but also sprinkled in there tumbling temperatures, colder air in the forecast. So long story short, it is going to be a week of roller coaster temperatures. Case in point today, we managed mid-70s. Still, to take you outside right now, temperatures are still in the mid-70s. 74 Hartsfield-Jackson. High temperature today was 75. We're 71 in LJ, 71 Blairsville. Upper 60s, lower 70s on the cool end. Most of us in the low to mid-70s. Atlanta right now is your warm spot. No huge surprise there. And as we go into the evening, we will see temperatures cool back just a bit. However, keep in mind, it is going to be abnormally mild. Even if still cooler than this afternoon, even if still worthy of a light jacket, unusually mild for this time of year after sunset. Case in point, hour-by-hour forecast. I'm going to pull it out for you both through this evening if you have dinner plans, but also through the day tomorrow. Again, bear with me. We're just getting our graphics oriented here and everything collected. What's really cool is that we have hundreds of weather graphics to help tell the weather story and explain what's going on, but that also means that we have quite a bit to pick through here. So temperatures, again, cooling off gradually. A mostly clear night, much like last night. Temperatures back into the mid-60s in the city of Atlanta by 9 p.m. If you live further outlying, if you live outside of I-285, the perimeter, I think you will be cooler more quickly. So, for example, if you're up in Beaufort, that 9 p.m. temperature 66 for downtown Atlanta, you're probably going to be more like 59 or 60 degrees. And then that 52 at 3 a.m. for the city of Atlanta, you'll probably already be back in the upper 40s. I think the city of Atlanta bottoms out, reaches that coolest point about 7:30, 8:30 tomorrow morning, and temperatures will be around, 49, 50 degrees for low temperature in the city, but much cooler further outlying. Case in point, Gainesville, kind of representative of where Beaufort will lie early tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the mid-40s. Up into the mountains, temperatures upper 30s and lower 40s. 40 in LaGrange, 42 in Thomaston, 43 in Griffin. So we're talking jackets tomorrow morning. It will be a chilly start, but also one of those weird days where temperatures really warm up substantially. So we're shedding layers. You can't keep the jacket on all day. You're going to be miserable by, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Case in point, here is that forecast. 50 or so 6 a.m. in Atlanta, but 53 9 a.m. So a subtle warm up through the morning commute. Still worthy of the light jacket. And again, 40s outside of I-285. 40s just a little bit further outlying. Temperatures back in the upper 60s by noon, and we are soaring to the upper 70s to near 80 as we get into the heart of the afternoon. Now, this is kind of a dry 80. It's not going to be humid, not going to be muggy. Much like today, the air is very dry. Chapped lips, you're getting shocked when you take the gas nozzle or, open the door. Just that kind of a late winter, early spring sort of setup where we have warm temperatures. We have lots of sunshine, but we just don't have much moisture to go with it yet. So there's no heat index, nothing like that. It's going to be just very nice outside after that cool start. Temperatures rebounding very swiftly as we get into tomorrow afternoon. But it will not last all that long. We do have changes on the way. Take a look at our Thursday forecast, a First Alert weather day. If you're streaming on YouTube, we put this in the description text on the Atlanta News First account. If you're watching Roku, Amazon Fire, Fire Stick should say AtlantaNewsFirst.com and Atlanta News First app or the First Alert weather app. You may not have seen that text, but the moral of this story is that we have roller coaster temperatures for the next several days. We're going up tomorrow on the coaster, crashing down Thursday, and then more of a gradual but still very substantial warm back up as we go back into, especially Saturday and on into Sunday. Temperatures back in the upper 70s. May not hit 80, but still another substantial warm-up in the First Alert forecast. Something also to watch, and to keep in mind here, we're going to kind of be windy on both sides of this storm system. Thursday's the First Alert weather day, 7 a.m. wind gusts, already greater than 20 miles an hour. As we go into the afternoon, I think wind gusts are going to be peaking in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range. So the First Alert weather day Saturday, not as much of a rain impact, though we're going to be tracking some showers, and we'll walk you hour by hour here in just a moment. But the sharp drop in temperature, we're stuck in the 50s after we spent temperatures, our afternoon with temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to be nearly, 20, 30 degrees colder across North Georgia, and it's going to be blowing pretty good out there with winds gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour. That is going to make it feel even chillier. And even though we're talking about temperatures falling Thursday, I think pollen levels are going to be elevated, unfortunately. It's impacting me today, impacting a lot of folks. Technically, today's levels were moderate, so let me know if you're feeling anything. Hopefully not. Again, YouTube is one place where we can chat. Atlanta News First is the account that we are streaming on. Or you can simply text us, 470-777-WANF. Again, I'm going to go and pop that up on the screen here for you. It's a simple text, much like you would text a friend, family, loved one. You can do this during active weather, severe weather. If we have crazy sky conditions or crazy clouds, you can always shoot us a text. Let us know what you're seeing. You may see it on a First Alert Weather Plus stream or on Atlanta News First. Or on a day like today, in a First Alert Weather Plus stream, you can simply ask us a question, and we can get back to you. We can add clarification to the forecast. Or maybe you have a question about weather outside of the area because your plans take you outside of the area. We're here to keep you updated across the board and certainly across all platforms. So again, I want to go ahead and go forward in time. Now that we talked about the wind Thursday, let's talk about that rain chance because it's not completely dry. We will have a little bit of rain moving through early Thursday morning, possibly getting out of here by the start of the morning commute. So I don't think it's a huge impact. Primary reason for the First Alert Weather Day is a huge drop in temperature, kind of a shock to the system kind of setup here where the temperature really drops. And then also, in combination with that, we're going to have some gusty winds, which will, kind of like a double negative here, or a feedback loop. The cold and the wind makes it feel even colder, only reinforcing why it's going to be kind of a shock to the system out the door early Thursday morning and really through the day Thursday. All right, hour-by-hour forecast. Let's bring it back for you full. Want to make sure that banner, when you notice that turn red, means the onset of a First Alert Weather Day. So we are absolutely dry today and tomorrow, but by tomorrow evening, you're seeing a few, dots of showers up there in north central Alabama. There could be a few strong to severe storms in west and northwest Alabama on Wednesday. Not the same scenario here, though. 10-11 p.m., still dry across the entire area, but as we get into the midnight, 1 o'clock time frame, thin little band of showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder rolling through North Georgia, moving in from the north and west and then departing to the south and the southeast. 1 o'clock in the morning, we're tracking some rain moving through Floyd, Chattooga counties. May pour, but it's only going to last 15 minutes, so not a huge impact to your morning, and it is the middle of the night. Most of us are sleeping, and there's no real risk of severe weather here. Case in point, 4 or 5 a.m., look at that thin little band. I mean, it's only going to rain for 10, 15 minutes max. And the forecast data that we look at, the tools in our tool belt here in the First Alert Weather Center have been very consistent with the fact that rain will be pretty nonchalant, not a huge impact. However, the front that is causing this brief little band of rain to move through is also going to usher in some much chillier weather and some much windier weather. So it's kind of a more of a temperature impact and a low impact at that, but serves as a reminder that we're going to be 80 winds today and then stuck in the 50s Thursday with windy conditions making it feel even chillier across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Hour-by-hour forecast going forward in time. Again, 5, 6, 7 a.m. rain shifts out. We're dry. But it will be chilly about that time, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to see our clouds break up. Probably we'll still wake up to some sunshine, but it's going to be windy at that point and only getting windier, and temperatures will drop back into the low to mid-50s and then just kind of sit there through the day. We're not going to rebound back into the 60s, certainly not going to rebound back into the 70s on our Thursday, and while we do have 70s to near 80-degree temperatures in the First Alert 7-day forecast, it is not going to be Thursday, nor will it be Friday. It's going to take a minute to warm back up. This is a pretty substantial blast of some chilly air in the First Alert forecast. Not unusual, though. It is still March. We can have mornings in the 30s, not too far from freezing, even in April in the city of Atlanta, let alone North Metro, let alone mountains. So here's your First Alert 7-day forecast. 80 to 56. That's the First Alert Weather Day. Sharp drop in our temperature. The winds come up. You need the jackets once again. You have to adjust the wardrobe a little bit. Make sure the students are wearing coats and jackets Friday morning. Mid to upper 30s in the city. Low to mid 30s. Widespread light freeze. Pretty good setup for that outside of I-285 Friday morning. Despite all the sunshine, we do rebound a good bit. Mid 60s. Good 30-degree rise in our temperature, but still kind of a cool day with a breeze. And then 71 Saturday. Sunday back to 77. Here's another pause in that warm-up. Cold front in the forecast. This one not as strong. Scattered rain showers a possibility Monday, and then we're back to pleasant weather yet again. 40s Tuesday morning, upper 60s, lower 70s Tuesday afternoon, with lots of sunshine in the First Alert forecast. And we haven't had any questions come in. Pretty straightforward forecast. One day to watch for a big change. That's Thursday, First Alert Weather Day. That sharp drop in temperature is mentioned, and we have the gusty breeze, that rain chance. It is there, and very well you could get a brief little downpour while you're sleeping early Thursday morning, but that's not the big impact of the day. I just want to keep you alert to the drop in temperature. And then as we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we do that rain chance Monday. Models struggling with the timing and location of the greatest rain chances. Something we're watching, not a first alert weather day at this time. If the forecast trends any more impactful Monday, we'll add on that first alert weather day. But again, right now, no huge issues. We're eyeing it, though, and then we're back to drier, nicer weather as we get into next weekend. I want to thank you for tuning in and for watching. And I want to remind you as well that First Alert Meteorologist Patrick Pete is back on TV, Atlanta News First, on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW, tonight at 10 p.m. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez is back on as well. Atlanta News First at 11 p.m. Updates ahead in the First Alert Weather app. Again, we're here to keep you updated across all platforms, even when the weather's quiet. We'll give you the update and pass along any changes to the First Alert forecast. But go out, enjoy the mild evening, go forth, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.